Hello, my name is Faith Cooper, and I am co-curator of the exhibition Eleanor Lambert, Empress of Seventh Avenue. This exhibition was organized in March 2020 by graduate students from MFIT's Fashion and Textile Studies program and is the first exhibition to explore Eleanor Lambert, the original fashion publicist. Throughout her 75-year career, Eleanor Lambert worked passionately to bring global recognition to New York's fashion industry. The introduction section of the exhibition features this Bill Blass coat from around 1970 that was donated to the museum by Eleanor Lambert. Lambert often wore clothing designed by her clients in appreciation of their talents and as a show of her support. Bill Blass was not only a client, he was also a good friend of Lambert's. He once said of her work, "To tell you the truth, I really don't know what she does, but it works." As the exhibition demonstrates, Lambert created a new kind of fashion profession and established industry practices that have shaped the fashion industry for decades to come. Before entering the fashion industry, Eleanor Lambert began her career in the art world when she moved to New York in 1925. She is credited with establishing the careers of sculptor Isamu Noguchi and Salvador Dali. Lambert commissioned Dali to design the cover of the fall 1950 issue of the American textile industry publication American Fabrics, in order to reignite the purchase of silk in America following World War II. The surrealist butterfly motif featured on the cover is echoed on the tie by Dali displayed next to it. The tie was painted a year after the issue was published. Much of the art Dali created for Lambert included butterflies. This is evidenced by the recent auction sale at Christie's of the 1953 painting Dali gave to Lambert. The colorful dresses are reminiscent of butterfly wings and may have been inspired by fashion. Lambert's clients often repaid her by giving her their works. Since the beginning of her career, Eleanor Lambert established relationships with some of the most famous celebrities of her time, like Babe Paley, shown here. In 1940, Lambert took over the International Best Dressed list, which designer Man Boucher started before the war. Her original intention was to create a publicity stunt for her clients and to provide the fashion industry with a record of taste. It became a fashion staple that is documented in a new book by Amy Fine Collins. Lambert created publicity for her clients, such as Norma Norell and Halston, whose blue sequin dress from 1972 is shown here. This dress was worn by actress Lauren Bacall, who was featured on the list. Over time, men and women fought and even offered bribes to be recognized for their sense of style by their inclusion on the list. The list featured the most fashionable celebrities and socialites. Its popularity led writer Truman Capote to collaborate with Lambert to help him build the guest list for a masked ball. The 1966 black and white ball would later be known as the Party of the Century. This mask, a highlight of the exhibition, was worn to the party by guest and socialite Marietta Tree, who ran in the same social circles as Lambert. If her name sounds familiar, it is because she is the mother of model Penelope Tree. The second section of the exhibition is titled Fashion Meets Politics, which explores Eleanor Lambert's involvement with prominent American political figures. A video highlights one of the only White House fashion shows. Lambert and Lady Bird Johnson produced the Discover America fashion show that took place in 1968. It celebrated and promoted the American fashion industry by showing red, white, and blue garments and accessories, as well as the work of Geoffrey Beene, Bill Blass, and Norma Norell. One of Lambert's most famous political connections was Jacqueline Kennedy, who was criticized in 1960 by Women's Wear Daily for purchasing French fashion while her husband was campaigning to be President of the United States. Lambert helped Kennedy change the negative press by selecting American designers for her to wear. Images from this 1961 Life magazine show women adopting Jackie's style. As well as having a passion for fashion, Eleanor Lambert's initiatives often included a hint of activism. One of her most revolutionary acts was her support of Black fashion models, designers, and publications. For example, in 1973, Lambert helped organize the iconic Versailles fashion show. She ensured this event included American designers, as well as Black models, which was rare for the time. The African-American designer Stephen Burroughs was selected for the Versailles show. Lambert became a keen advocate of Burroughs around 1970, the year he created this jacket. The final section of the exhibition, entitled Eleanor Lambert's Vision of Seventh Avenue, displays the work of some of her most influential clients and illustrates how they contributed to American style. In 1943, American designer Man Boucher created a version of this dress for the infamous Wallis Simpson, Duchess of Windsor. Like Man Boucher, Simpson was a close friend of Lambert's and was frequently featured on her best dress list. Simpson created a scandal when Prince Edward, Duke of Windsor, abdicated the throne in 1936 in order to marry her, an American divorcee. Simpson maintained a distinct style in the face of such notoriety. Her Man Boucher wedding dress, shown here, was part of cultivating her image, and Lambert understood its importance, encouraging Simpson to donate it to an American museum. Throughout her career, Lambert loved seeking out young fashion talent. She discovered Oscar de la Renta in 1965, a designer she believed in so much she represented him for free. As he became more established, de la Renta sent Lambert checks to repay her for her support. In 1967, de la Renta won a Coty Award for his trend-setting Russian and Gypsy-themed collection. The Coty Awards were started by Lambert to recognize American designers for their work. This de la Renta caftan belonged to fashion icon Diana Vreeland, who had once called Lambert an amateur for supporting American fashion. Clearly, Lambert proved Vreeland wrong, as Oscar de la Renta would go on to serve as president of the CFDA. The CFDA, which stands for the Council of Fashion Designers of America, is a not-for-profit trade association formed in 1962. Lambert noticed that both the state and city didn't pay enough attention to the interest of the American fashion industry, and she was instrumental in its formation. During the 1960s, Eleanor Lambert noticed another young fashion designer, Calvin Klein. She spotted him cutting coats without a pattern. Impressed by his skills, Lambert took Klein on as a client and helped him start his business in the fall of 1968. She would later call him one of the most sensational successes of Americans' fashion recent history. This Calvin Klein wool coat is a recent donation to the museum at MFIT, and an original sample that helped launch his business. Klein became the first designer to win a Coty Award for 3 consecutive years. Eleanor Lambert's influence and impact on the American fashion industry goes well beyond what we've highlighted in this walkthrough. To learn more about Lambert's major contributions to America and the fashion industry, such as Fashion Week, the Dress Institute, her charity work with March of Dimes, and more, we invite you to visit the past exhibition page of the museum at FIT's website. Thank you for joining us.